Let the sound of the bell as a cue for you to go inside. Let this sound begin to bring you into a place of calmness and relaxation. So that you can begin to make powerful changes in your life, within yourself. When our body and mind are relaxed, such as when you begin to close your eyes and go inside, you are moving from beta brainwave frequency to alpha brainwave frequency. Alpha mode is a very powerful mode. When we're in this mode, we are very receptive in making changes, in new reprogramming. Unfortunately, many of us, when we are in alpha mode, we focus on worries, critical thoughts, on thinking about the past in a very negative way. So you can say that we spend a lot of time in negative self-hypnosis. But if we can take advantage of the alpha mode, we can use positive self-hypnosis, because all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. Now, self-esteem is not something you have or don't have. It is something that you can nurture each day by listening to this recording, by being aware of your thoughts, the way you think about yourself each day, even each moment, by doing things that are loving, kind, nurturing to yourself each day, by feeling a sense of compassion, love towards yourself regularly. Self-worth is not something that we have or don't have. Every one of us, we are born worthy. And it is the experiences that begin to make us question, consciously or unconsciously, the idea whether we are worthy or not. Every one of us was born worthy. You are worthy. So just make yourself comfortable now. If you want to close your eyes, that's a good idea. But if you don't, that's fine as well. Now you can just listen quietly to the sound of my voice. Or of course, you'll be aware of all those other sounds as well. Sounds coming from your end, maybe sounds coming from my end. But these sounds won't disturb you because you won't let them. In fact, they're going to help you to relax, because the only sound you choose to think about is the sound of my voice. And while you're listening to the sound of my voice, you can simply allow yourself to be as relaxed as you could ever want to be. Just allow yourself to be as relaxed as you could ever want to be. Good. Now while you are relaxing there, you can just be aware of your body, aware of your hands, and where and how they're resting. Perhaps noticing the angle of your elbows, and maybe sensing the weight of your head against wherever it's resting. And you know, that weight might seem to just gently increase as you allow yourself to relax more and more. Just being aware of your ankles and how they're resting, and wondering if you will start to feel heavy too as you relax, thinking about your breathing for a few moments, noticing that your breathing is becoming slower and steadier as you relax more and more. Slower and steadier, breathing so steadily and evenly, just as though you were pretending to be sound asleep. Breathing so evenly, so steadily, you almost wouldn't disturb a feather placed immediately in front of you. Breathing so easily and slowly, so gently, that you almost wouldn't disturb even a single strand of feather placed right in front of you. And as you allow yourself to relax even more now, I wonder if you can perhaps sense the beating of your own heart. Sensing the beating of your own heart and just seeing whether you can use the power of your mind to slow that heartbeat down. Just a touch. Just seeing whether you can use the power of your mind to slow that heartbeat down just a little, so that you can then feel your whole body slowing down, becoming more and more relaxed, because you have gotten absolutely nothing whatsoever to do except relax now. Nobody wanting anything, nobody expecting anything. So you can allow your whole body to continue to relax and become steadier and steadier until it's just ticking over. Like a well-maintained machine of some sort or another, just ticking over. Smoothly, easily, quietly, comfortably, so that you can become gradually more aware of your whole self, aware of your hands and arms, and just sensing how they are now. Aware of your legs and feet too. Again, just sensing how relaxed they might be, and wondering if it's possible to relax them even more, to be so in touch with yourself that you can actually get your whole body, perhaps to relax even more, yet remaining totally alert. And noticing now how even your face muscles can begin to really relax, relaxing and letting go of the tensions that were there, almost, but not quite, completely unnoticed. Just being vaguely aware of the skin and the muscles of your face settling, smoothing out, a good feeling, wondering just how long all that tension had been there, where it all came from in the first place, and then realizing that you simply couldn't care less because you can feel it draining away from you now, and that feels good. And as you can continue to sense the beating of your own heart and the absolute steadiness of your body's rhythm, you wonder at the fact that you are so absolutely relaxed and comfortable that you simply can't be bothered to even try to move even one single muscle, even though you know you easily could if you wanted to. I know that you easily could if you wanted to, but you simply can't be bothered to even try, allowing yourself to just be relaxed and relaxing even more now. As relaxed as anyone could ever wish to be. And I wonder if you can now manage to relax even more, even though you are already as comfortable, as relaxed as it is possible for most people to ever be. Just finding the last teeny traces of tension in your body and simply letting them go. With each easy, gentle breath you breathe, allowing every muscle, every fiber, every cell of your entire body to be as beautifully relaxed as anyone could wish to be. When the eagle was very small, he fell from the safety of his nest. A chicken farmer found the eagle, brought him to the farm, and raised him in a chicken coop among his many chickens. The eagle grew up doing what chickens do, living like a chicken, and believing he was a chicken. A naturalist came to the chicken farm to see if what he had heard about an eagle acting like a chicken was really true. He knew that an eagle is king of the sky. He was surprised to see the eagle strutting around the chicken coop, picking at the ground and acting very much like a chicken. The farmer explained to the naturalist that this bird was no longer an eagle. He was now a chicken because he had been trained to be a chicken, and he believed that he was a chicken. The naturalist knew there was more to this great bird than his actions showed, as he pretended to be a chicken. He was born an eagle and had the heart of an eagle, and nothing could change that. The man lifted the eagle onto the fence surrounding the chicken coop and said, "Eagle, thou art an eagle. Stretch forth thy wings and fly." The eagle moved slightly, only to look at the man. Then he glanced down at his home among the chickens in the chicken coop, where he was comfortable. He jumped off the fence and continued doing what chickens do. The farmer was satisfied. "I told you it was a chicken," he said. The naturalist returned the next day and tried again and convinced the farmer and the eagle that the eagle was born for something greater. He took the eagle to the top of the farmhouse and spoke to him. "Eagle, thou art an eagle. Thou dost belong to the sky and not to the earth. Stretch forth thy wings and fly." The large bird looked at the man, then again down into the chicken coop. He jumped from the man's arm onto the roof of the farmhouse. Knowing what eagles are really about, the naturalist asked the farmer to let him try one more time. He would return the next day and prove that this bird was an eagle. And then the farmer, convinced otherwise, said, "It is a chicken." The naturalist returned the next morning to the chicken farm and took the eagle and the farmer some distance away to the foot of a high mountain. They could not see the farm nor the chicken coop from this new setting. The man held the eagle on his arm and pointed high into the sky, where the bright sun was beckoning above. He spoke, "Eagle, thou art an eagle. Thou dost belong to the sky and not to the earth. Stretch forth thy wings and fly." This time, the eagle stared skyward into the bright sun, strained his large body, and stretched his massive wings. His wings moved, slowly at first, then surely, powerfully, with the mighty screech of an eagle. He flew. Believe in yourself, even if others don't believe in you. Don't give up and keep trying to uncover your inner eagle. Imagine you are lying in bed as a child with a mother, a very compassionate, very kind mother with a sweet voice reading to you a story. As she reads, she strokes your hair perhaps, and you enjoy the scent of her. Listening to her soothing voice, you feel comfortable, comforted, you feel safe. This is the story she reads to you. A mother duck had been sitting on her nest of eggs for several weeks. When the time was right, the eggs began to hatch, and soon the mother duck was surrounded by her young ones, who made little beep beep sounds. The last egg to hatch looked a little unusual, and when the shell cracked open, Mother Duck got quite a shock. The creature which emerged looked quite different to all of the other ones. Her feathers were not the same color, and her beak was a peculiar shape. She also didn't make a sweet little peep-peep sound. The mother duck felt rather alarmed at this strange-looking addition to her family, but decided to make the best of it and included her in the family activities. First of all, Mother Duck led the hatchlings from the nest down to the water's edge. As they waddled, Mother Duck looked at her beautiful ducklings. They were perfectly formed, as little ducks were supposed to be, with fluffy yellow feather and red little beaks. Yes, they were perfect. Except, of course, for that last one. She did not have fluffy yellow feathers or a little red beak, and as such did not fit the picture of pretty little duckling. She looked nothing like the others, and the more she looked at her, the more she thought her ugly and clumsy and really not one of us at all. Mother Duck and the hatchlings entered the water and swam about, occasionally putting their heads under the water and feeling the coolness on their bodies. Even that other one seemed to be comfortable in the water, enjoying the swim, perhaps. But the mother duck, with time and proper training, I can make her look and sound like the rest of us. Because if the truth be told, Mother Duck was rather embarrassed about being related to this unusual creature. In particular, she was concerned about what the other ducks would say and how their comments would reflect on her whole status in the duck world and in the farmyard where they lived. Maybe there would be questions as to her own ancestry, or perhaps other birds and the animals might begin to look down on ducks in general, as the hatchlings played in the water. Some of them began to whisper among themselves, "She doesn't look like us. There's something wrong with her, and she's an impostor." They laughed at her and called her names, and Mother Duck became increasingly worried. When they left the pond to walk up to the farmyard, the fluffy yellow ducklings waddled as quickly as they could so they wouldn't have to be next to that other one. At the farmyard, the animals looked at the hatchlings up and down, and a few made nasty comments about the last born. She looks funny. Maybe she's some new kind of duck. Maybe she's not a duck at all. Maybe she's some kind of insect dressed up in a badly made duck costume, pretending to be a duck so she could obtain all of the duck benefits and perhaps even take over the farm. And so it went on. Some of the hens pecked at the other one. Even the farmer pulled a face when he saw the ungainly figure following the line of ducklings behind Mother Duck. As the days and the weeks passed, the other one worked hard to conform to the requirements of being a duck. She tried to speak like a fluffy yellow and behave according to the duck etiquette with a correct duck waddle, but it felt so uncomfortable, and no matter how she tried, she was never good enough. You can imagine how disheartening it must have been for the young bird, as it would be for any fledgling, to be told that she didn't fit. She didn't meet the criteria. She would bring the whole duck society, and perhaps even bird society as a whole, into re-dispute if she continued as she was. So eventually, after months of being insulted, prodded, and poked by the farmyard authorities, trodden and publicly slandered, the other one left the farmyard. She wandered alone in the fields and swam along the streams, trying to enjoy the sunshine on her back. Whenever she saw a duck swimming along, she would stay completely still, barely breathing, so that she could remain in hiding, and no one would ever notice she was there. Occasionally, other birds would come towards her, and she would fly away before they got too close, and she was sure that they only meant to attack her. One afternoon, she was sleeping by the river bank when she was awoken by the sound of gentle splashing and soothing voices. As she scrambled to her feet, she saw 3 beautiful long-necked birds coming towards her. "Hey," they called. "Where are you from? We haven't seen you around here before." The other one tried to hide herself, but the long-necked birds continued. "Come on out. It's a fabulous day for a swim." The other one tried to make excuses, but the long-necked birds would not give up, and there was something about them that filled the lonely creature's heart with hope. Hesitantly, she stepped out from the reeds, but she was still so busy trying to hide herself that she slipped into the mud and straight down into the water. She expected the birds to laugh at her and call her names as so many others had done before, but instead they seemed to be looking at her with admiration. "Why are you staring at me like that?" she asked. "Well," one of the long-necked birds replied, "it's been some time since we saw such a beautiful young swan, so we are enjoying the view." "Yes, you are a very fine swan indeed." And then the other one, the one who had been mocked and teased and rejected, the one who had never felt part of duck family, who had looked all wrong and, despite her efforts, just couldn't behave like a proper duck, caught a glimpse of herself, a reflection in the water, and she gasped. She was no longer an ugly duckling, and in fact, she had never been a duckling at all. She looked just like the three birds swimming next to her, for she was a swan, and she was absolutely beautiful. You are born beautiful. You are born gracious like a beautiful swan. Allow yourself to be revealed as a beautiful swan. From this time forward, you will know that you are the architect of your life and that you can set your goals and move towards them at the speed which seems most appropriate to you. You realize that you are unique and that there are special things for you to do, things that can and should be done better by you than any other person. For never before has life been expressed through any other person in exactly the same way as it is now being expressed through you. If it had been, there would be no need for you to be here. And never again will life be expressed in exactly the same way, because if it were, there would be no need for you to be here. So think of yourself as a creative person, and you use your great creative power to move toward through goals that will help you to realize your highest potential, which you intuitively perceive. That means that you have a way of knowing what you are capable of achieving. That's a divine faculty in you. Most importantly, I'm going to leave you with this realization. The faculty that is given to you for the realization of and your movement toward your goals is your imagination. Your imagination is not just a picture taking or imaging department. It's a vital part of you in that you use all of your sensory responses and, most importantly, your feelings about yourself, the world about you, and your relationship to it, which is the foundation of your ability to be all that you are capable of being. From this day forward, you are going to feel a great sense of confidence and self-esteem, and a different perception about yourself and the world. because that's what we are dealing with here, is perception. The way you see things is what determines the qualities of our lives. You feel a sense of being free, as if a weight has come off your shoulders, a sense of being free to direct your energy on your own behalf in the manner and form that you decide is best for you. You are worthy. Your self-esteem increases each day. Your self-worth increases each day. Your perception of your self-worth increases each day because you were born worthy. You have always been a worthy person. And your perception of your self-worth increases each day. The things you do for yourself helps you to increase your self-esteem each day. So now, I'm going to count to 10. When I reach 10, you either open your eyes and stretch and begin to feel the self-worth, the self-esteem being built in you, nurtured by you each day. Or you sink even deeper into hypnotic rest so that you can also begin to nurture and continue to nurture your self-worth and self-esteem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You either open your eyes and begin to embrace your day, or you continue to drift deeper and deeper into relaxation, into the power of your mind.